live.
Well, we
Not
are
five,
live
four.
now. This is Infield Insight here on the
Well,
World Baseball Blotter YouTube channel. I'm Ryan Fox.
you're useless because you're supposed to count it down 5, 4, 3, 2 live, not 5, 4, 3, and then stop, and then
Well,
five
the
seconds
YouTube
later
was like
go
a minute and a
live.
half behind us, so I had to wait.
Well, you're just useless. That just sounds like an excuse. It's
Yes, it
absolutely all that
is.
sounds like to me. I need a better countdown.
That's
My
okay.
name is Paul
Five,
McCoy.
4, 3, 2. Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you. My name is Paul McCoy. That is Ryan Fox, who has somewhat redeemed himself, but he has a bit of more work to do. Who's the
And
other one
I'm
on
Drew
this?
Sayo, just sitting
And,
here, enjoying this argument about countdowns.
and Bethany College has made an appearance, everybody.
Bethany College is so ready to just hear us yelling at each other for the next however long this takes.
Yeah, because the problem we have here, Drew, is Ryan has the game up on his computer, but because his Fox works, he's about a whole, I want to say, hour ahead of me. So everything he is saying is just false on my screen. He said Jeremy Pena had a single. That's not true. Jeremy Pena wasn't even batting yet. So you're going to hear Ryan say stuff and me just not agree with it.
We've got the game up essentially as we're going. This is the third episode that we're doing of this show. Drew, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. We got NFL football, ALCS. It couldn't be better.
I'm glad that you feel that way, my friend. I'm glad, because I
Gotta look
have been
positives.
doing homework all day.
Yeah, anyone want to write my paper for me?
No.
The two people who are waiting on this, if you're still here, first of all, why? Second of all, since you are still here, you want to write my paper for me?
No, they do not, Paul. But
How do you
anyways,
know?
we have
How do
a
you know?
jam-packed third episode of Infield Insight. A little bit delayed getting on, but here we are. It is October 15th, 2023 at 9:33 p.m. Currently, the Rangers are playing in Houston at the Houston Astros. And that comes after the top seeds in both leagues were eliminated from the MLB postseason. So let's get started with that, I guess. What did you guys think of the DSs in the NL and the AL?
Well, personally, I thought the Nintendo DS was better than the 3DS. But thank you for asking.
You're gonna send me on a thing here. My DS is kind of hiding from me right now. I think it's 1 second.
The DSi was pretty elite. Drew, did you have a DS growing up?
I did, yeah.
What games? What kind of games did you have on it?
I'm trying to think. I think I had a Pokemon game or two, a bunch
Yes,
of the
sir.
Mario games, the
Dude.
classics.
Grew up on Pokemon, man.
Oh yeah,
There's
Well,
nothing
I
better
also had
than.
a FIFA game for the DS.
Oh, FIFA like 10 or 09? Because I
Yeah, I
had
think it
one.
was FIFA 10.
Yeah, I had one. That was my first FIFA game.
well, I don't have my DS with me, but I do have my DS games from when I was younger, including
It
at
you
least a
make
couple of Pokemon.
you make that case look like it's what Kawhi Leonard was holding. That is the smallest case I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
We know Ryan knows how to grip it. But
Back to the
yeah. So
AL
the
and
We
Yeah.
lost both viewers.
Oh no! All right, Drew. What opinions? What do you think of both teams failing miserably, both top seeds?
I mean, personally, I felt like the Braves and Phillies, I'm going to start with the NL. The Braves and Phillies, that one really could have gone either way. And it was two of the better teams in the National League. I felt like the Phillies were a bit unfortunate to be the 4 seed. Based on record and performance, they could have surpassed Milwaukee had it just been the traditional, 1 through 5, 1 through 6 rather. But so in that regard, I think the Phillies very much deserve to get to the NLCS. Not to say that the Diamondbacks did not, but I mean that was by far one of the biggest choke jobs that we've seen from the LA Dodgers in recent playoff history. And then the same thing on the other side with the American League. Houston over Minnesota. Even though Minnesota had a decent pitching staff, I feel like everybody knew that Houston was ultimately going to win that series before it even started. And then, I mean, speaking of choke jobs, the Orioles just curled up in a ball and let the Rangers curb stomp them for 3 games. I mean, that was miserable.
Well, it was not the funnest part of my week to watch the Orioles fall to Texas, but I mean, the way that we were talking about it in our group chat during the week, the Orioles are still a year early almost. Like they're still just getting into their window, if you say.
Yeah.
And yes, they got beaten rather badly. I mean, 7-1 in the last game, 11-8 in game 2, and what was game 1? Game 1 was a rough one. It was only 3-2, so that was a close game. But
Santander was their whole offense game 1.
Santander was their whole offense most of the playoffs, to be honest with you.
Fair enough, yeah, that's true. Except for game 2, but yeah.
I mean, I think that it kind of exposed their youth.
Inexperience?
Yeah, very much so. Their inexperience, their youth. And I think that next year, with the lineup that they have, they're going to be right back in it. I think if they can get some more playoff caliber pitching, so on top of their young guys, like I know Grayson Rodriguez is going to continue to improve. Bradish is going to continue to improve. Are they bringing back Kyle Gibson next year?
They want to.
They want to. So that's a good 1, 2, 3 right there. But they really, having this experience is going to be a good thing for them. At the end of the day, though, I mean, Texas just outplayed them.
I feel like the loss wouldn't have been as bad for Baltimore if they had gone in as a wild card team, but the fact that they won their division over Tampa Bay, who was expected to win the division, I felt like that kind of raised the expectations for the Orioles. It'd have been one thing if they lost in 5, but it's not the fact that they lost, it's how they lost for me that makes it seem like a bit of a disappointment.
Oh, sure it does. I mean, you look at the division this year, the AL East almost had 3 teams making the playoffs because Toronto...
Well, they did. They did.
Wait, did they?
Yeah, Toronto made it
Toronto,
and then immediately lost to the Twins.
Hey, we got a like. That's awesome. So the
me
AL...
too? What
the
virgin
AL
like
East,
us? Holy cow.
So the AL East had 3 teams in the playoffs. But like you also saw how bad the Yankees were and how bad the Red Sox were, and then you saw how the Rays kind of fell apart after their amazing start. The Orioles just kind of, they were the last team standing when it came to guys that were going to win or guys that could like potentially come out with a division title in the AL East in 2023. And I guess the perceived weakness of that division kind of showed.
I went to game 2.
Yeah.
Leody Taveras just hit a solo home run of all people, by the way. I went to game 2. It's 2-0 in the top of the 5th.
Oh, let's go Rangers.
But yeah, so game 2, that was the just crapshoot of a game where the Orioles go up 2-0 in the first, and then Mitch Garver. Well, effectively, Grayson Rodriguez couldn't throw a strike, and then they brought in Ryan Baker, I think is his name, and he forgot how to throw a strike. But then when he did throw a strike, it was right down the middle to Mitch Garver, who deleted that baseball into the stands for a grand slam.
Sure.
And then he forgot how to throw a strike again. And then I don't remember who they brought in, but I know they brought in Flaherty. I know they brought in Jacob Webb. Pretty much nobody could throw a strike, effectively. And it was not a good night anyway, because Yenier Cano even gave up some runs.
Well, I mean, and you look at the line score, Rodriguez gave up 5 and 1 2/3. That's not sustainable.
Well, no, yeah, because the bullpen just didn't help him.
Yeah. I would look at it this way. He's a 23-year-old rookie.
Oh, he's going to
be great going forward.
Yeah, he's
the way
already
that he
got
bounced
playoff
back
experience
this season. And I mean, you look at the lineup at least in game 2 when they scored 8 runs. Yes, their pitching failed them, but
well, you know who didn't fail them?
Their lineup.
Aaron Hicks.
Aaron Hicks, heck yeah.
Three-run homer in the 9th.
Minnesota Twins legend right there.
And he had the 2-run. Yeah, great, thanks. He had the 2-run single in the first. So he had 5 RBIs. For some reason, his at-bats looked incredible, but he's a free agent, of course. I don't think they're bringing him back because they don't have room. My question to you guys is, do the Orioles bring back Flaherty?
No.
No.
Absolutely
Okay.
not. The way that he pitched in the second half, he's going to be
He
a
collapsed.
comeback candidate elsewhere,
His market value is 11 million apparently.
which is low for a guy like him. He was an all-star, right? At one
Yeah,
point.
he'll be 28. He was the ace of an AL or of an NL. I mean, they got swept by the Nationals in 2019, but he was the ace of that team, of the Cardinals team that went to the NLCS.
His career has just collapsed.
Him, Dakota Hudson, Wainwright,
That seems to be a recurring
uh,
theme of that Cardinals team, to be honest with you.
except for who they got rid of, Garcia and Rosarena.
Yeah.
They're elite. But Braves, what do you guys think?
Braves just lost any ability to hit. I mean, they were they couldn't put the ball in play. And it's not that the Phillies pitching was stellar. I mean, they pitched well enough to obviously win the series in 4 games, but Atlanta just couldn't hit. I mean, you had Acuna go cold. Matt Olson went cold. I mean, when those guys, Austin Riley as well, when your best hitters go cold, you can't win baseball games.
This is why I say Yordan Alvarez is a better baseball player because he just never goes cold.
Better than Acuna?
Yeah, I'd put him up there. And hitting wise, yeah, I mean, look at Acuna and Betts. You're gonna finish 1-2 in the MVP race in the NL. They did nothing this postseason. I think they had 3 hits combined between them.
Well, I mean, look at it this
Sounds
way,
about
too,
right.
for the Dodgers. The Dodgers, they scored 2 runs in game 1. They scored 2
Dodgers
runs in
lost.
game 2.
Dodgers
And
lost
then
that game immediately though.
they scored 2 runs in game 3. They got swept.
Him and
That's
Betts and
crazy to
Freeman.
me.
No, the D-backs are the greatest team on the planet. Betts and Freeman. It's just, I know Freddie Freeman had an infield single. Other than that, I don't really know what else he did. But yeah, I mean the Braves.
He did nothing.
Yeah, the Braves are.
The Braves are a
Like,
disappointment this year, I would say, and they refuse to give any credit for that disappointment to the layoff between this series and the last one.
that layoff to me is the biggest excuse on the planet.
Yes.
Everybody
very much.
wants the time off.
Yes.
Everybody does. I don't care who you are. You want time off. Everybody lives for time off. They live to sleep and they live not to go to work. So anybody who tells me, "Oh, that taking that time off is terrible," no, it's not. It should
Especially when the Braves literally played simulated games
yeah,
to avoid that.
in front of bigger fans than what the Rays could muster up for their series. And so it's just like, and you look at now the Rangers, right? They just got time off. They're getting Scherzer back for this
Oh,
series.
sure.
The time off, and you maybe still would have got him back anyway, but still, you get players healthy, you give them time to rest, and then you go out there and play. And it just so happens that the Phillies have their number. The one game I honestly think the Phillies should have won was game 2 because Zach Wheeler was pitching
Oh, yeah, he was pitching
the
again.
best
Again.
the best I may have ever seen Zach Wheeler pitch. And it's the game they lost.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're giving up, like, when you have the game of your life from the guy who could be your ace on many teams, and really is their ace. I mean, I know they have Nola as well, but Wheeler is Wheeler.
Yeah, Nola's only the ace because he was there. But
Yeah.
Wheeler's the ace, I'd say.
When you have Wheeler pitching the game of his life and one mistake loses it for you, that's unfortunate. I mean, that's baseball, but
I'm not
I
saying
think
they should not have won the other game.
no,
I'm
I
just
know.
saying
I'm
that's
just saying
the
like
one
that is
game.
the one game they should have had down pat, and it's unfortunate for them that they didn't. I think that's going to be a valuable experience for them, though. Attaboy Harper, anyone?
Yeah.
Bryce Harper is insane right now.
Yes, and
He's become
Arcia.
a postseason legend.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of hoping that they win, or at least get to the World Series again to see if they can get payback for last year. If the Astros go,
D-backs are going all the way.
you know, I kind of believe you.
But no, I mean it's not because they beat the Dodgers. It's just me being a delusional idiot. But
Hey, you said it, not me.
Like
Yeah,
I've
well.
said before, at least we're honest on this podcast.
but no, if you break down that Braves team, Ozuna's a free agent, right?
Okay.
I think. That's gonna die in the glove of Evan Carter. Um, Braves free agent. I said I was gonna do homework, but that's not happening. All right, so they got Charlie Morton, club option. That's getting declined because that's 20 million. Eddie
No, they're not
Rosario,
paying him.
club option, 9 million declined. They're just not going to pay that.
No,
Colin
they
McHugh,
shouldn't.
6 million. That's going to get declined. Pierce Johnson, who cares? He's 34. Maybe bring him back. Kirby Yates, 6 million club option. Bring him back cheaper. Mutual for Brad Hand, 7 million. They can't afford that. Yeah, no. So what's his name isn't a free agent. I don't think. I think Ozuna's got one more year
Yeah,
left.
I think so. I know that was a big talking point a couple of years ago with all of his criminal issues, but
But
he'll
they
be
don't
back.
have like their biggest name free. I don't want to say like Joe Jimenez or Jimenez, whatever his name is, and they got a lot of bullpen arms who are free agents. But if we're like going down the list,
It's Morton
don't
who's the biggest name.
well, but he didn't really do. He didn't pitch this year really, so they're
And he's
not really
also 40 years
losing.
old.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. They're not losing anything. Yeah, their bullpen. You're gonna have to retool that. Don't get me wrong, and that's important. But in terms of that offense that set records or tied records, they're not losing anything.
Well, I mean, looking at the Phillies list as well, the biggest I want to say the biggest loss that they could have is this year or last year?
Oh my god.
The Phillies only have 5 guys that are set to be free agents: Rhys Hoskins, Aaron
Yeah.
Nola, Craig Kimbrell, Michael Lorenzen, and then Scott Kingery has a club option.
Well,
So they're
Kingery's
losing
gone.
a lot.
Well, Kingery is the.
Yeah, he hasn't played this year.
Well,
been
that
AAA.
contract.
Yeah.
And his club option's 13 million. He's gone.
Oh,
He's
for
gone.
sure.
I just clicked on Eddie Rosario. Do you know who the Braves traded in 2021 to get him?
No, but now I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Pablo Sandoval. What the heist of the century is that?
Oh, I remember that. No, that was a salary offset deal.
Yeah, because then Sandoval got, I think he played like 3 games and they
Yes,
got
and then he ended up
immediately
back
DFA'd.
with San Francisco, right?
San Francisco. Yeah, I just had to throw that out there because that's a heist of the century right there, especially for what he did in the 2021 postseason. But yeah, like the Phillies are going to lose a lot. The Braves, though, I think they're just going to come back next year, win the division again. And I don't want to say. Honestly, I think losing Dansby kind of hurt them in terms of postseason. I know last year, even with Dansby, they still went out. But just him being there, I think it kind of hurt them a bit more than people
Sure.
thinking it did.
Yeah.
And even though they can't really afford it, figure it out.
I mean, they did get Arcia, who was an all-star this year, but he also
Best
was
contract
sitting
in
there
baseball.
Yeah, I mean,
4 years, $7 million. That's his contract. It's pretty good.
so let's shift on to Arizona.
Yeah, Paul, let's talk about your Diamondbacks.
What a team. What a team, man. They go swimming together. They go to the baseball game together. They win together. They don't lose together. And they hit home runs together.
They beat the crap out of the Dodgers together, too, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean,
what?
when you're sweeping
Oh,
against the top seed, it's crazy to me. Or
looking
second
back
seed.
on it, that series was over the second they put up 6 runs against Kershaw. That was it.
Yes.
Like even before Betts comes up and hits, Freeman comes up and hits, you're down 6-0, and your ace is out of arguably the greatest pitcher of all time is out of the game in his first ever. There's an argument there, Drew. I know you gave a look. If you go look at his stats, you could argue that Kershaw.
At the very least, he's
You're
one of the
gonna-
top 2 pitchers of the last 10 years.
You could argue Kershaw.
I would agree with that. I mean,
No,
Paul,
you
you're
could-
really going to take Clayton Kershaw over Nolan Ryan and Sandy Koufax?
Well,
Peak Kershaw?
Kershaw's got a sub 2 ERA in his career. His career ERA 2.48. He's 210 and 92. Nolan Ryan had over a 3 ERA.
Pitcher wins don't mean shit.
Well, ERA means something.
Oh,
Kershaw's
yeah,
got a
yeah.
2.48. His career WHIP is 1. That's stupid.
I didn't realize he got to 200 wins.
That's stupid how good that is. I mean, Kershaw, especially in today's game and Tommy John and all that stuff, You could argue Kershaw is the greatest of all time, but that's his first ever career start where he did not finish in the first inning.
Well,
He
listen,
he
I'm looking at the similarity scores on Baseball Reference for Clayton Kershaw. The most similar pitcher, would you like to guess who it is? It's a Hall of Famer, I'll tell you that.
what era?
Recent.
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 Is it a
Recent as
lefty
in
or
20 to
a
30
right?
years ago.
Lefty or a righty?
Righty.
Randy Johnson.
No.
Nolan Ryan.
No.
That's not 20 to 30 years.
The Yankees are his daddy.
Oh, Pedro. Okay.
Yeah. Sandy Koufax is number 5 on that list.
Here's the thing also. I mean, you look at Kershaw. He's 3 times Cy Young. He won the Triple Crown for pitching. He won an MVP as a pitcher. You want to say Cy Youngs matter, right, Drew?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young.
Well, especially
thing...
now they do. Nolan Ryan, though, was during a time where voters were voting for numbers. They were not voting for
I know that. But he still never won one. Like, there is something to be said about that.
There's also something to be said with how Ryan stuck around for so long. I mean, longevity is a skill.
No, don't get me wrong.
I'm not trying to put him down for that. I'm just saying, like, he was around. He pitched like 27 years, right?
He pitched 27. He's tied for the longest all time.
Yeah.
But you look at my computer's about to take off. You look at Kershaw, and it's just every year. The highest ERA he ever had, excluding his first year, is a 3.55 in 2021.
Does that include this year?
Yeah, 2.46 this year. And I get he's not pitching as much as he used to. He'll give you 130 innings now a year. But those 130 innings are still Cy Young.
I'll be honest with you. He's the best pitcher of the last 10 years, most likely, or 15 years.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's 1.77 ERA, 21-3 in 27 starts in 2014. The year before that,
he threw 236 innings and a 183.
183. That's what I mean.
Season, in my opinion, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like that. It's stupid. It's stupid what he's accomplished.
And then he followed that up by striking out 300 the next
301 hitters and had a 2.13 ERA.
And unfortunately, that's not enough for them to beat Arizona this year.
Not the best pitcher of all time. No career saves, but I digress. Yeah, but that series was over.
He can't pitch in the playoffs. He's a regular season pitcher.
Oh, please.
Well, you say that, but I mean, look at 2020. They did win.
I don't care what anyone says about 2020. That's a real world title because to win, you still had to win.
He showed up.
Just like every year.
I mean, in 2020 in the World Series alone, he had 2 wins and 2 starts, 2.31 ERA in 11 2/3 innings, and he struck out 14 during that series. I mean, he struggled in the NLCS that year, but he was great the rest of the time.
But yeah, I mean, the D-backs, they're just hitting on all cylinders right now. Their pitching is the bullpen, which was the weakest part the whole year, is now their strongest part all of a sudden. They're getting runners on base. It doesn't matter how many outs there are. They're playing situational. When I mean that, they're playing situational. If there's one out, they're moving the runner from second to third. If there's one out and there's a runner on third, they're getting a sac fly. If there are 2 outs, they're shortening up their swing. They're just doing everything right. And
they're a young team with a lot of potential.
It's beautiful to watch. And they got Merrill Kelly going game 1. They got Gallen going game 2. If they win one of those in Philly, they got a fighter's chance to win that series at home, I think.
I will say I think that the NL CS is going to be a better show than the ALCS.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking about all this, Drew?
As far as the AL and NLCS?
Yeah.
I mean, I would agree with you. I think that the Phillies Diamondback series, that at a minimum is going 6 games. I think the Rangers Astros, depending upon how things go, that one could be over in as little as 5, but it could also go to a maximum of possibly 7. I don't think either team is going to necessarily roll over, but I do think that what you said is correct in that the Diamondbacks Phillies is ultimately going to be the more entertaining series.
I just think the Diamondbacks and the Phillies are kind of more evenly matched in terms of we're not really sure what we're going to get out of it. Whereas with the Rangers and the Astros, these are two teams that were kind of built for October.
Evan Carter, nope.
And while they
Sorry.
kind of struggled at the end of the season, they're still around. They're still kind of evenly matched, you know?
Yeah.
I look at the Rangers, and I said the Rangers were going to fail miserably because of their bullpen, which has turned into the greatest thing in the world, apparently. But
Hot takes exposed.
I'm still, yeah. Well, it was a correct take. The hot take would have said that their bullpen was going to be a success. But I mean, look, Chapman's going to Chapman it. I don't. They've been getting away with it all playoffs. I mean, he gets a double play when it's needed, so he's pitching fine, but he is just one of those innings away from this all just blowing up. It hasn't happened, and I hope it doesn't, because I do like Aroldis Chapman. LeClaire has never been better. He's very hot, very cold pitcher. He's hot as can be right now. Josh Spores is coming out, however you say his last name. He's throwing well. I would take, right now, that bullpen, arguably maybe over the Astros. Because Presley, for me, has just not been Presley. And say that he still was as good as anybody in the game. But Rafael Montero is nowhere near what he was like the time last year. Or the whole season, really. Hector Neris is wild. He's been great. But it's Hector Neris.
Sure.
So yeah, I look at that Darren Walters in the red zone. That's not what we want to see. I look at Astros Rangers, and I think whoever hits more home runs in that series is winning the series. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think it's going to be situational baseball. I think it's going to be won on solo home runs, honestly.
Which is not how it started out so far for him in today's game with Carter getting driven in.
No, but Tavares just hit a solo shot.
Sure.
That's what I think. I think it's going to be Altuve coming up. And, leading off an inning, gone. Jordan hitting his home run. Because Jordan's always going to... Jordan's... Sure.
Do we think that John Gray and Max Scherzer are going to...
Scherzer was activated. I don't know.
Well, they're both on the roster, but do you think that either of them are going to make a difference?
If Scherzer's not starting the game, he'll be used back into the bullpen and just say unload it. 100%. I mean, how do you not use Scherzer? Top 5 pitcher probably the last 10 years. You got to use him in the playoffs.
If he's there, you use him.
Yeah, you have to use him. I don't care if he comes in and gives up 8 runs. I'd rather you use him than not use him.
Sure.
Gray, I think Gray could give you 3 innings. What was his injury?
I'm not sure. Let me look.
Because depending on whatever his injury was, I could see him giving you 3 good innings of throwing just all out full max and then doing like a bullpen game.
Well, Gray was on the fence coming into this. I believe he was out with right forearm tightness.
That's a bit important for a pitcher, isn't it?
A little bit. Fun fact, we had another viewer a couple minutes ago. Yeah. It's gone now.
Well, shocking.
They kind of come and go.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I am one of them viewing it.
Oh, that's probably you.
Yeah, there's one watching now. That one is me.
Hi, Paul.
Oh, why would you get our hopes up?
Why? Because I'm being a nice person. That's why. I see Drew right now on YouTube. We have Ryan on YouTube. There's me. Right now, Ryan is actually talking.
I do that a lot.
It's a bit behind.
So John Gray with the forearm strain and Scherzer with, what was his injury? Shoulder strain.
Shoulder strain. Well, Scherzer it was a major teres or teres major strain, whatever it is. That's what they called it. I don't know what that is. It sounds like a disease from a third world country to me. But
anyways,
you're allowed to say that, please. Let's not. Come on.
No, you broke me, Paul. It's fine.
I look at that series and I think homers all day are gonna win it.
No, for sure.
That's
and I look at the other series. I see the Phillies as a homer happy team, but they also know how to hit, and I see the Diamondbacks as fast. So
yeah,
What do we think the final results are going to be for this series? For both of them.
Drew, you got it.
I'm gonna say I hate to see the D-backs run end, but I'm gonna say Phillies in 7,
It's fair.
Yeah.
and I will say Astros in 6.
What's your reasoning for the Astros?
I think ultimately the Astros lineup is just really hot right now. I mean, they cruised through the Twins, who arguably had one of the better pitching staffs in the American League playoff field. And especially when they have Justin Verlander, he's continuing to pitch well in the playoffs. I think that's ultimately going to play a big difference because that top 3 right now with the Astros, and also the lineup too with that top 3, I was going to say Altuve, Bregman, and Yordan Alvarez. I mean, you're not going to find a much better top 3 than that.
Paul, what about you?
Considering I just saw Jordan Montgomery just glove a ball that he has no right in doing, I got Rangers in 6.
Let's go, Monty.
But if the Rangers don't win it in 6, then it's going to be Astros in 7. Because I don't see the Rangers winning a game. I don't see the Astros losing a game 7. I just don't. Sure. And then embrace the chaos. D-backs in 5. I have no reasoning other than I'm a homer. Embrace the chaos.
That's fine. I understand.
Embrace it. The correct answer is Phillies in what might be a sweep, or 5. But
well, I mean, we say that, but then we look at how the Dodgers lost.
That's what I mean. Screw it. D-backs in 5. Embrace the chaos. I say Zach Wheeler gets a win. Ranger Suarez doesn't. Aaron Nola doesn't. And whoever the hell they pitch for the other game, I don't know. For the other 2 games, I don't know.
Sure.
All
right.
But yeah.
I think that as much as I would love to see the Diamondbacks make a deep run like into the World Series, I think that it's going to be Philly. I mean, Bryce Harper's on a mission right now. He's got the roster around him. Starting pitching's been great for them recently. As long as the bullpen continues to hold up and as long as everyone stays focused as hitters, I think Philly's going to be hard to beat, unfortunately, for Arizona. As much as, like, I really enjoy the Diamondbacks team, I enjoy the hitters and such. I like watching Merrill Kelly pitch. But I think Harper's going to be hard to beat. I think they beat them maybe in 5 or 6. I think the Diamondbacks get one good game.
Gallen's going to throw
Yeah, I think he's going to throw a decent game, and I think that their hitting is going to come together at least once. Unfortunately, I think they might have used a lot of their good luck against Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
It's good.
Hey, I mean, it's a hell of a run. For, what was it, an 84-win team?
84 wins, man. It's like the 2005 or 6
Cardinals?
Cardinals won, 83 games?
Something like that, yeah.
And the year before, they won like 100, and they couldn't win the World Series. They come in that year, win the World. Rookie Adam Wainwright closing games.
Against Justin Verlander's Tigers.
Which were a juggernaut.
And that leads to my AL prediction, which unfortunately, I think it's going to be the Astros in 7 just because of the experience factor. As much as I like the Rangers lineup, I don't think their pitching is going to hold up behind the top 3 starters of, again, Montgomery, Scherzer, and who was the last one on that?
Evaldi.
Yeah, Montgomery, Scherzer, and Evaldi. I think behind them, they're going to realize, or they're going to hit a wall at some point, and I think that point is this series, unfortunately. Though, what is the score right now?
2-0.
It's 2-0 in the top of the 7th. Verlander's still out there, 83 pitches.
Montgomery's throwing a hell of a game. At some point, though, I think you're going to run out of talent.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And
I do think it goes
also,
7.
7 games means Game 7 is at Houston.
Yeah. And they just tend to have a home field advantage, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see them. What they lost, I know they lost the Nationals on their field, Braves on their field.
Sure.
I don't. Neither of these teams. This Rangers team is nowhere near as good as that Nationals team. They may have better names, but they're nowhere near as good as that Nationals team. And I honestly don't see either of these teams being as good as that Braves team was that year.
Sure. All right. So then I guess as a group, we're looking at a Philly-Houston World Series.
Hold on. I said the smarter choice is the Phillies.
Well, the smarter choice is, but let's be honest here.
So I'm looking at D-backs, Rangers, because I said Rangers in 6.
I would like the Rangers.
So I'm looking at D-backs, Rangers.
So those of us that are not Paul are looking at the realistic World Series, and I hope that we're wrong.
True. Hey, to be fair today, I picked the Browns to beat the 49ers. And what happened?
Chaos.
So,
you like chaos.
Embrace the chaos.
Yeah.
Just embrace
even
it.
blind people can see things coming from a mile away.
Embrace the... No, they couldn't. No, they couldn't. Stevie Wonder can't see that. Are you kidding me? All he can feel is a piano 2 feet in front of him.
He's fantastic, though. I'll tell you that.
Dude, that man, Stevie Wonder. You see Shaq on Stevie Wonder?
No.
Shaq doesn't think he's blind because he says one time I got into an elevator with him and he said, "What's up, Shaq?" So Shaq refuses to believe that Stevie Wonder is actually blind, which is the most Shaq thing on the planet, and I love it. But embrace the chaos, boys. It's gonna be Rangers D-backs. You're gonna see Paul Sewald. You're gonna see a man with arguably the best first name on the planet, okay, come in and win the World Series in the 9th inning of Game 6.
I could see it happen.
Game 6.
Neither Pauls have won.
Dude, Paul Pierce.
Oh, yeah.
It's a winning Paul.
So going from the MLB overseas, Paul, unfortunately, one of your favorite pitchers has been eliminated from the playoffs in Japan.
Yeah, I know.
The Yokohama DNA Bay Stars lost to Hiroshima 2-0 in the first stage of the Climax Series, meaning that Trevor Bauer is out of the playoffs.
He's officially now a free agent and can sign with any team in Major League Baseball. Real quick, Drew, do you see that happening?
What exactly?
Trevor Bauer getting picked up by a Major League team?
I mean, at this point, I would like it to happen. I think he would have a great redemption arc in Major League Baseball if somebody did. But unfortunately, I don't see it happening. I feel like his reputation is too gone for that to occur. I feel like a Major League Baseball team signing Trevor Bauer would be the equivalent of an NFL team trying to sign Colin Kaepernick right now. There would just be too much attention and drama surrounding it that no team is going to want that.
I see the Orioles pushing for it, to be honest with you.
I think that happened in my out-of-the-park baseball sim.
Well, out-of-the-park baseball is on top of things.
Darn straight it is.
So Bay Stars are...
out. The rest of the NPB playoff picture is as follows. In 1 second, because I'm not prepared for this.
Currently, there's a runner on first. I think it's Evan Carter walked.
Yep.
And Verlander is down, or is not down the count. The count is 2-2 to Nathaniel Lowe. So he's out of this game in a minute. Nathaniel Lowe could put a kill shot. Verlander's releasing the tank, and he needs to go ahead and bring the baseball down a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah, let's see, the 2023 Climax League's finals. It is
Hector Neris warming in the bullpen. What is the finals? Excuse me.
Oryx.
Someone in the... I'm sorry.
What's
up?
up?
Someone in the comments here put, not our comments, the illegal stream comments. Trevor Lawrence is a handsome Squidward.
Wait, what are you watching?
I'm watching Stream East for the baseball game.
Oh, man. I know the Hanshin Tigers are in it. 1 sec.
So the Hanshin Tigers versus the Toyo Carp.
Oh, they're going to be taking on Hiroshima.
Okay.
So they're taking on the Carp, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So there you go. That's about par for the course, isn't it?
And then the Pacific League, it's Chiba Lotte Marines versus the Hawks, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, who won the majority of the Japanese championships over the last decade. The winner of that series, which has not started yet, will face off against the Oryx Buffaloes.
Speaking of Japanese baseball stars, I don't remember his name. Who was the kid who is turning down the Japanese league to come play college baseball?
Oh, Sasaki. It's not Roki, it's the other one. Rintaro
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, he's the greatest hitter, they say, of all time.
Yeah, Rintaro Sasaki. He's a big
He's a big boy.
high school hitter. He did not apply for the NPB draft this year. So
Yeah, he said Vanderbilt, however you say it.
I don't think he's committed yet, but
no, he hasn't, but he will.
Yeah, I mean the kid's 17. He's 6 foot 250.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Jesus.
One of the best hitters I've ever
swings.
seen. Yeah,
he's got such a beautiful swing.
He'll be over there. I think he'll be here. Which
Yeah.
I mean, I think that will eliminate him from playing in Japan because a lot of those leagues over in Europe suspend players that skip to go to the U.S. So, like, if they flame out here, they can't play professionally in Japan for, like, 3 years or something.
Hey, man, I like it.
If his potential plays out half of what he has, he's not going to need to play in Japan. He's going to be in the major leagues making 10 times more money than he would in Japan anyways.
My thing is, it is a massive risk because you apply for the Japanese draft. It's not like they spend a lot of time in the minors in Japan.
Oh, no, they often don't spend any time in the minors.
That's what I mean.
They are a
But here,
top prospect, yeah.
He'll go to college, then he'll get drafted, and then he might spend 2 years.
Well, I mean,
You know what I
he's
mean?
17 years old. He's going to spend at least 2 or 3 years in college. I mean, they can't draft him until he's a junior.
That's what I mean. The amount of money that he could lose.
I don't see him losing a ton, though,
term.
because...
No, I don't either. But in the short term, because NIL won't work for him.
Sure.
Because he's overseas. And they'll figure it out, don't get me wrong. But to figure that out is going to be a hell of a... I don't envy that person.
They'll figure something out. I mean, he's going to be the next great player in Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I mean...
They'll find a way to get him money.
They probably already are getting him money. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Anyways, I think he's going to be good in the U.S. I think that the continued pull for these guys to come over younger is great to be able to see the top talent from other countries.
Selfishly, I hope this becomes normal.
As much as I would like to agree with you, I hope it doesn't hurt.
No, I know. That's why I said selfishly.
Domestic leagues, but
Yeah.
it's always fun to see.
This hurts the Japanese league.
It hurts the NBB a bit, yes. Because, I mean, they would have him for 9 years at least if he stayed, which he would be at the least 27 years old.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. And that's if he wasn't posted. But you never know how it's going to turn out. He could flame out. So, it is what it is.
With 2 on, 2 outs in the top of the 7th, Verlander 101 pitches. Dusty Baker Jr., there's a junior on the back of his jersey. Don't know when that got there. Is going to get Verlander and giving the ball to Hector Neris to face somebody in the...
So as Hector Neris comes out to close out the inning, I think it's time we close out this show.
Oh, nice. Look at that transition.
I can do these transitions
What a
pretty
line.
well. I got it right here. Drew, what are your final takes for us?
I think the biggest thing out of these two series, I mean, like I said already, Diamondbacks Phillies is going to be the more entertaining of the two. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that whether it's game 1 or game 2, whenever Zach Gallen pitches his first game, or even if he gets the opportunity to pitch twice, one of them, he's going to go very deep into the game and possibly flirt with a no-hitter.
I like it.
That's a hot take.
I like it. They better pay that man this offseason. They better pay him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If they don't pay him,
Paul, what about you?
I think we all need to figure out why everyone likes white paint. Look at what you're. Look at this. I got white paint. Drew white paint. We all are just white paint. think we need to get some color in here, boys.
It's a very, very bland background, I have to admit,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
That's my final thoughts. What
White
about
walls for white people.
All right.
We need the green screens to come in.
I'm thinking. So, Drew, you're renting, right?
Yes.
All right. I'm renting. Ryan, you are living at a
I grew up in this
beautiful
bedroom.
abode of your parents,
Yes.
which means you could possibly get away with painting the walls a different
I
color.
could. Does
So
that mean I'm
that's-
going to do it? Absolutely not.
No, yes, it does. So it falls on you to go paint your walls. So then we're not all just white walls.
Well, I could also just give myself a background, like build something when I actually have somewhere to shoot.
So for Halloween, could you dress up as Bob the Builder and we record a podcast? And it's just you painting your wall. Thoughts? Opinions? I think it'd be good. And Drew and I will just sing the theme song over and over. I'll be the whole podcast. How's that? Is that...
It's not happening, but I love it. Anyways, my final thoughts, I guess. Let's go Rangers. Let's go Diamondbacks. God, I hope Chaos wins.
Embrace it, man.
Embrace it. This has been Infield Insights episode 3. We're getting more concise as we go. And we'll see you guys next time.